Happy Friday, everyone. It's hard to believe, but the holiday season is right around the corner. So for this week, we're going to expand upon a topic we discussed a few months ago and walk through QCDs. So this week I'm here with my colleague John. John is our resident CPA, and although we are not giving tax advice this week, we are going to use John's expertise to walk through one of those topics that tends to come up more and more through the end of the year as we're starting to do additional financial planning. So to start off, John, what is a QCD?
A QCD is a Qualified Charitable Distribution that you can start taking out of your traditional IRA or traditional 401k at the age of 70 and a half. That's where you start taking actual money directly from your TD Schwab custodian account and directly to a qualified charity, which effectively is a 501c3.
So really, for these clients of ours who are at their RMD or required minimum distribution age of 72, or even backing it up to age 70 and a half, for those individuals who are more charitably inclined, it might be a good idea to utilize this tactic as opposed to just putting money into their bank account and distributing at that point to charities.
So the one best thing about, so yes, at 70 and a half, I think it's a good strategy. Once you're in RMD age, I think it's a great strategy, especially you are charitably inclined in giving to, churches, United Way, YMCA, whoever it is that's a 501c3. It basically allows you to reduce the amount of income that you've generated in the year because of everything distributed out of the QCD is not it's not taxable income. So comes off the top. It's not a below the line type of charitable donation, which you would normally get. It comes right off the top, which is great.
So what you're saying is, in normal years, if someone just took whatever that required minimum distribution was and let's say put it out to the bank account, that's all going on the top line as income. And in this case, we can avoid that by utilizing the qualified charitable distribution.
Correct. And the example we're showing right now, this is a scenario that's a single man. He makes $80,000 in income for the year. He's about probably 75-ish. He's probably got about $1 million in his IRA. His RMD is around $42,000. So the first scenario is if he just takes his RMD and distributes it directly from his qualified account to himself. So Bob takes it out to his bank account and then gives it to the charity. He can use it as an itemized deduction. So you can see it on the slide that he's got $122,000 of income and his taxable income is $80,000 because it's coming out of the itemized deduction, not the standard deduction. However, you can see in the second scenario, if he's going to take this whole RMD and take it out as a QCD, his income drops significantly because his only truly taxable income is what he made in $80,000, which could be Social Security, that type of stuff when you're in the 75 age. Along with that is you still get your standard deductions. So you both get the charitable donation right off the top as income, and you also get to use a standard deduction. So you can see that the tax savings is about $14,000 for him because in that scenario, he gets to use that. In the first one, he wouldn't. So it's a really good way to effectively maximize his tax giving strategies, but then maximize his taxable income level.
Yeah. And John, I've heard you say before, we should never let the tax tail wag the dog. But in a scenario like this, if you're already charitably inclined, or if it's something that has been on your mind, if you're of that RMD age or over 70 and a half, you might as well look to utilize that qualified charitable deduction as opposed to giving cash because it's a win-win.
It's a win-win. And basically, the best benefit for it as well is since it comes off of income, there's an IRMA tax, which is in Medicare Part B. So it's basically, there's a graduated tax structure within IRMA that's based upon income, not just what you had in taxable income. And so the QCD allows it to come right off income. So really it could drop you within tax brackets as well in there as well. So not just from a federal perspective, but for Medicare Part B, it also allows, you could save $150 a month if you can just drop it down to the next tax bracket from that perspective. And to your point before, usually when you're starting getting to your 70s, 75, 80s, your expenses are going down. And so when you're given these donations, whatever, it's really, really a good benefit for those people that are charitably inclined to do this and to hopefully maybe even reduce some of their IRMA tax that the government's basically forcing on them from RD perspective.
Absolutely. So to sum it up, first and foremost, we're not giving tax advice today, and we know that everyone's situation is different. But these are a couple of great tools to think about when it comes into that year-end financial planning time of season, which we're getting into. So, as always, if you have questions, reach out. Someone, John, myself, or any of the advisors here in the office can walk you through this. Again, we always appreciate everyone tuning in. Thanks, and have a great weekend.
Happy to help. Because you got OnStar.
Yeah.
OnStar is great, but it's the first time we ever had it, right?
Yeah, within 30 seconds,
Yeah,
CJ reported it stolen.